welcome to DeView, the Digital View podcast for the week of Wednesday, February 29th, 2012. I'm Curtis Paradis.
I'm Bret McPhee.
Gage Fletcher.
Jordan Murdock.
And today we're joined by a special guest, Terry Koss. Thanks for being here, Terry.
Thanks for having me.
DeView is all about bringing you our view of the digital world around us, from music, movies, TV shows, video games, and gadgets. So, first off, we're going to start in the gadget category this week. There's a big thing happening on Apple's website. I know a few people, I think maybe just Jordan and I, are pretty big Apple fans. And the big thing here is the 25 billionth app will be downloaded very, very soon. Kind of a cool piece that they're doing and putting together for this is that the person that downloads the 25 billionth will get a $10,000 App Store gift card.
That's so crazy.
I didn't even realize they were up to that many already.
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
do you know what it is? What the app is?
No. Like it's like
the
ticking
app
down.
download.
Yeah, like so they're currently
So
at
it doesn't matter what it
24
is.
point.
So whoever gets like
billion.
the 25th billion, you know.
Yeah.
At the time of recording, we are at 24.8.
Oh, I saw that counter. I was wondering what that was. I didn't even read it.
That's what it's for. So, if you download the 25 billionth app, that's a $10,000 App Store card. Which, what would you do with $10,000 to the Apple App Store? Like,
I'd have to buy it.
you could die.
You could probably download like every app, or maybe not every app, but every app you could possibly want with 10,000.
Yeah, like and like let alone like that's like a $10,000. I don't think it only just goes for apps. Pretty sure it's just like an overall like Apple.
I guess
Could you use that on iTunes or something like
Yeah,
that?
I think
would
so.
assume so,
I
but
think you can.
Because if you buy
actually.
like a gift card, like you can use that on like music, movies, TV shows. You can use it on any of the apps.
I think they brand them as iTunes cards and App Store cards or whatever,
But
but
they,
I
like,
think it's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
as I've seen those at 7-Eleven, they have like, you know, the iTunes gift cards, and then they have the app ones as well. So I kind of assume, you know, you can only use one for each, but it's hard to say at this point.
So. I don't know. I only used to buy like the iTunes cards.
Well, if I could use it on music and movies, that's exactly what I'd be using it
Yeah,
on.
I second
Every
that.
movie my heart desired, every music my heart desired.
Do any of you know when the like the first app was actually downloaded? Like, I'd just be interested to see how long it took to get to 25 billion.
They released iOS 2.0, which had like the App Store. That was the first one that had the App Store, and that was in. Well, we're on 5.0 now, so that was 3 years ago, whatever it was, and so there you go, like 25 billion in like 3.5 years, something like that. Like,
pretty crazy.
that's crazy amounts. It was kind of always funny. They used to show at like their developer conferences. They'd have like this big wall, and they'd have like the little app icons like fall down every time someone would download one, and it was just like rain. Like you could just see them, like they would just fall down.
They were making it
They're
rain.
so beautiful.
I wonder if that takes into account, like, if people have to re-download because they accidentally smash an iPod or an iPhone.
Well, no,
or
got-
if it's purchases.
Well, I know with purchases they have this thing now. You can. Okay. And like anything I purchase on iTunes, they have this thing like you can get it again. Like you've already purchased it once, but they'll let you download it again if it's not on your computer.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for
Right.
absolutely free. So
Yeah.
then
Very
again,
nice.
for people like me to get into this app thing, I'd actually have to get an iPod Touch or an iPod phone, or so I'm
iPod phone.
probably a few light years away from there. If not, so I'm happy with my iPod. So
Anyway, so not to cut you off there, Terry, but
no worries, man.
yeah. So if you're interested in downloading some apps, maybe you can get the 25 billionth. I will probably not be trying. I haven't downloaded an app in forever. So
Maybe this is your time. to do it.
maybe I should just go in tonight and be like.
I
click.
think my
Just buy a-
iPod Touch is like too far behind to.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think I have the second generation iPod
Oh
Touch.
yeah. I think
you
it's
can
out of
still
date.
you can still like download apps.
I can
and
still
stuff,
download
right?
apps and everything, but it's like it's slower.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
It's-
You need to
you know.
upgrade.
I do need to upgrade because I just dropped it recently and it cracked.
Let me get
And
this
it,
out of
prob-
my pocket.
it probably fell a distance of like 3 feet.
Reach.
Like,
That's why you got to get a case in those bad boys.
well, I did have a case for it.
Oh, but it's still correct anyway.
It's still cracked.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe there's just too much glass. I don't know.
That's the one thing I don't like about their phone. Like the front and the back are glass. I think it's
You
a
almost need
bad
like a
choice.
case that has like a chain on it that like is connected to your wrist, so kind of like the Wii remote, so you're not
Oh
like.
yeah, they should come out with one of those, so
That
it can
makes a
never
lot of
fall
sense.
like any farther than about.
Just be
And
like,
then-
whoa, and then I can drag it back.
And then when you're playing with whatever, like if you have a lighter app or something and you flick it and you're not gonna throw it up or something.
I seen someone with like there used to be like a bowling app where you'd actually like bowl with it.
Oh, yeah.
And someone literally went like this, and it just went shit, and it just like hit the wall, and it was just a smash.
Well, the same thing that happened with Wii remotes. There, people would get so hardcore into it, they'd literally throw them into the TV, and
Yep. Break the TV.
and that was the end of that.
No good.
Well, continuing on with cell phones, there's a big thing going on right now called Mobile World Conference, the Mobile World Conference. Basically, it's a brand new cell phone conference out in, I believe, Spain. Georgie, do you remember? I don't really remember where it is.
Can't remember where it is.
It's
I
not
could
in
check
North
right
America,
now.
but basically, brand new cell phones are being unveiled there. Someone had told us on Twitter that we should talk about it. Here's my consensus. There are a bunch of new Android phones. They all look relatively similar. And there's a couple new Windows phones, and they look similar, and that's about it.
And expensive as well.
That's my take on it. Android phones have got to the point where they're all basically pretty close to one another. The only one that I've noticed that was kind of interesting had a projector built into it, so you could actually like, point your phone, and it would project the screen onto like a wall.
Oh, that's wicked.
But it was like pretty thick. So
The future is now.
But is it like how like it was like this thick, dude? Like how?
That's,
Well, it
like,
has to
that's
be.
still
It's
pretty
a
good, though.
projector.
I don't know.
Does
Anyway.
it have like a fan like a projector has on the inside?
It's like
Goes for about 5 seconds and just.
it's like what's that sound? Oh, that's just my phone.
That's just the sound of my iPhone
Excuse that.
melting inside.
Can you watch anything on that projector?
Anyway, so that's going on right now. I have nothing really else to say. Anyone else have anything to say on that?
Never really heard about that.
No.
Then again, I'm still rocking my old Motorola, so
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's time
I'm a bit
to
behind the
upgrade.
times.
Yep.
So we move into movies now. There was a big thing that happened over the weekend, otherwise known as the Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
If you
What?
know, somehow missed them or everything else.
I never-
the only thing that I really noticed from it was Sacha Baron Cohen, I think is how you pronounce his
Yep.
name. I'm not really sure. He showed up wearing his outfit for his new movie called The Dictator, and it was kind of funny. He spilled like some ashes of what was supposed to be like Kim Jong-il
Yeah.
all over Ryan Seacrest. Thought it was kind of funny. That's the only part of the Oscars.
sounds
Well, then
I've
again,
seen.
how did he get in though? Because wasn't he banned from the Oscars?
Well, the funny thing is, like, they banned him, right? Because they're like, we don't want any of this comedy stuff.
Well, because like the Borat and
Yeah, and
Bruno
then
stuff.
yeah, basically, and then the people behind like the Oscars, what's it? There's some sort of group. I forget what they are.
Academy Film Actors
that's
Guild.
what it is. They were like, oh well, maybe we should let him in because the Oscars are getting kind of boring.
Yep.
So they let him in.
More publicity, more ratings.
yeah, that's
Exactly,
exactly
yeah.
what they
So
want.
how did Ryan Seacrest act? We was all like, oh my god. and all
Yeah,
that.
how
He was-
planned was it? Do you know? Was this rehearsed?
did he just kinda
not
just-
at all,
Baron Cohen
no.
just did this. Eh?
He he like kind of like fumbled with this like urn and then kind of like spilled it all over Ryan Seacrest's like suit, and he was just like he didn't really know what to do.
Well,
and
the
he-
people who initially kicked this guy out, like they just must have been just squares, you know? Like
Oh,
we're
yeah.
too good
It's
for
all
this.
it's
like,
all 75-year-old guys in that are in charge of the Oscars.
Yeah, it's like give me a break. Like what? It's entertainment. Like it's an entertainment business.
yeah.
Like that's what it's all about, you know?
But-
Spilling Kim Jong Il's ashes.
well, they weren't actually Kim
I
Jong-il's
know.
actors.
Well, of course, but
I was a little disappointed with the Oscars this year too because initially they had tried to get Eddie Murphy to do it and he had signed on for it,
Yeah.
and I was actually pretty jacked to see Eddie Murphy host it or whatever. But then he said he wanted out because they ended up switching writers or something like
Brett
that.
Ratner was the original director of the Oscars. Then he kind of bowed out, and then Eddie Murphy kind of bowed out because they made that movie Towerized or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I think they ended up going with Billy Crystal. But I heard something about, because I don't know if you guys know this, but way back when in the 80s, Billy Crystal was on Saturday Night Live and used to do impersonation of Sammy Davis Jr., and he would wear blackface. And apparently he did that on the Oscars last night. I don't know how well that went over racially wise.
Probably
but
not very well.
Yeah. Well, knowing Crystal, he probably did a good job. He's a pretty.
I don't know.
He's hosted it probably. What,
He's just
4 or
done
5
it so long. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
you
It's
need
just-
someone new to spice it up a bit, I think. But who do you get? No one really seems to in celebrity. They always have tough time finding someone willing to do it. So
Well, same with the Emmys
Yeah.
though. Like they're really digging at the bottom of the barrel for that.
How do you guys feel about these award shows? Like, do you
That's a
Do you like
really
them
good
or, like-
topic to bring up?
Yeah,
I
I
just-
think
I don't know if there is a real need for them.
No.
Like,
who decides? Like, it's not us.
Plus, like you know,
We're the ones who
so
are
much
consuming
credit,
this media. You know,
so
like,
much credit gets given to one person for one movie or whatever. You know, and it's just like how many people does it take to make a movie? Like, it's
Yeah.
For one, to me, like it kind of glorifies either one person in a specific category, and like that person's work wouldn't look that good without
Like the
A, B, and C
cinematographers
people
and the
working
grips
on
and
it
all
as
that
well,
stuff.
right? So.
Mhm.
I kind of get excited for the list. I'm like, okay, I want this guy to win, and then when he doesn't win, you're like, nah.
yeah,
Dang it.
it never seems to go your way.
Sometimes it does, but not always.
What about you two guys?
Could care less.
couldn't
Yeah.
care less.
Oh, couldn't care less. Sorry.
grammar.
Sorry, whoa,
Grammar,
whoa.
Louise.
Grammar.
Um,
Yeah, this
I
is
think-
what I did on my Sunday night. I watched Puss in Boots. and it was 10 times better than the Oscars.
Really?
And
You enjoyed your night probably more
I
than
did.
anybody
It
else
was
watching the
great.
Oscars.
It was a great night.
I don't know. I was kind of. I seen the trailer for it. I was like, I was kind of really on the fence about it.
I think
Was it
I think
good
Puss
though?
in Boots was the only redeemable character in the Shrek
Oh, yeah.
series
What-
after like the
Donk. What about?
whatever part he came in.
Donkey
Like,
didn't
it just
need
went
Donkey.
so bad. Like the first one was good.
First and
Second-
second. I like the second one too. I thought it was good.
Well, I think Banderas' Puss. I think came in as in the third one.
I can't
Second.
remember.
Second, I think.
Second.
But either way,
Yeah, second.
Regardless,
Antonio
Puss in
Banderas
Boots.
as a cat
Yeah.
was the only redeemable
God.
part of that series.
you
Like
haven't-
after the
Yeah.
second.
If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah, it's such a cute character too. Like
Oh yeah.
I just like to see it, even if it's not that funny. It's like,
Well, and then
aw,
he's got
little
like
animated
then
kitty.
he's got like Humpty Dumpty and
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
I just like Banderas' voice of that cat when they initially introduced that character or that movie Puss in Boots. You know, that Puss in Boots. You know, like,
Ole.
you can't help but like that. You know.
he's just
Good
like the
voice
perfect
actor.
guy for
He
that
d-
role.
Yeah, he fits perfectly within it. So I don't know. I thought it was good. Anyway, Jordan, what did you do instead of watching the Oscars, or did you watch the Oscars?
I didn't watch the Oscars.
What?
When were they? When were they? Sunday.
Sunday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Man, what was I doing Sunday? I wasn't watching the Oscars. I think I might have been playing.
Who knows what
games.
you were doing?
I might have been playing games or editing a video. I edited that cinnamon challenge video with my buddy.
It's pretty
Are
funny.
you gonna plug that right now, Jordan, or what's going on here? Like,
Plug it.
I'm just saying that's probably one of the funniest videos like that you can see people do on the internet, like YouTube. It's
cinnamon
just-
challenges.
So
Yeah,
many
like,
fails.
We should do that. We should do the cinnamon challenge.
Okay,
you
to-
can do it. I'll film
No,
it.
no. You have to do it too.
I'll do it.
Not in the studio though.
I'll
we
do
don't
it.
we don't want to make a mess in the
On
studio.
face.
Yeah, not in the studio.
Like,
Here's
was that originated? I just want to. Was that originated on Tosh.0?
No.
This
No?
was I think
Oh.
this was like probably early
Before
2000s.
that,
I
yeah.
think I
Yeah.
did some research on it. But I
From
think-
where? Where did you do your
Did
research?
some research on the
You know,
cinnamon
where-
challenge.
What was your?
Yeah, I was like,
he had to-
this
well,
thing.
I had heard
it was
about it.
called Google.
How much cinnamon is too much?
Well,
I-
by that video, a whole
So Jordan, did you
tablespoon is
invent
too
the
much.
cinnamon challenge? Or?
I did.
Oh.
I did.
Well, he did
Well,
not
then why don't you want to do it?
because it's much more fun to
I
watch
think-
other people.
Jordan,
You know,
Jordan has
But you know what
perfected
the
it.
fans would like to see? They would like to see you do the cinnamon challenge.
They would not want to see me.
I
They
would.
should post
I
in the
think they
comment
would.
section below telling us that they would like you to do
Uh-oh,
the
Jordan's
cinnamon
got
challenge.
himself in trouble.
Just flood the
Right.
comment section. We want
Jordan's like,
Jordan. Three
you
words.
can already-
Jordan cinnamon challenge.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Done. Oh, really?
It will be done.
Jordan, you're gonna
Trust me.
piss off the fans. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, moving. Anyway, we should
Moving
move
on.
on to the next
Past
piece.
the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah, past the cinnamon challenge. There's some cool new movies that are coming out that just came out and are coming out this week. The first one that came out last Friday was Goon. I thought I should probably talk about this one. Terry, you actually went and seen this,
So good.
so you enlighten us as to what it is without giving everything away.
Well, basically, everybody knows who Sean William Scott is. The basic premise of it is he works at he's like a bouncer at a bar, and then one night he's hitting on this girl, and this guy comes up to her, so he just kind of beats the tar out of her, or beats the tar out of the guy, and and then he gets recruited by this hockey team. And the weird thing is, though, if you think of Sean William Scott like from American Pie and Stifler, he's like all raunchy in this. Like this, he's like way turned down. Like he
Oh, really?
seems like he just seems like a really nice guy and stuff.
What
but
was
when,
the other movie he was in?
when he gets on the ice, though, like he just
The rundown.
No, he was with some.
he was on the
kids.
rundown.
Oh, was he? I'm not.
Role models.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, roll.
I didn't care for that movie, but
I thought it was pretty good.
the
Anyway, keep going on the
Goon was so good. Jay Baruchel was in it. If you don't
Popular Mechanics for Kids.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Okay, going way back.
What?
I love PMK.
Apparently they had
We
to,
always take a walk down memory lane.
apparently they had to take down like so many posters of Goon because apparently Jay Baruchel did a sexually suggestive thing on the poster, and they're like, no, we don't want these here, so they had to take like 50, 60 of them down.
John.
We'll fact
I
them.
won't do it here, but if you want to look it up online,
Thank you,
feel
Terry.
free.
Please refrain.
Yes, please.
We would hate
For
to have to
now.
like.
The funny thing about
Cut to
that movie
something.
Goon is that my brother and sister were actually like in that movie.
Okay, well, we'll move on from that. We have to move on to Lorax next. It's the new movie from Dr. Seuss. It's kind of cool. It'll be hitting up the theaters this weekend, so if you guys want to go and check that out, definitely
Good
can.
old 3D
and
animation.
Yeah. pretty much. And the one I want to move into next is Project X. I thought this one looked pretty cool.
What is that?
It's
I've
bas-
seen that.
I've
yeah,
seen
it's
previews.
It's like this huge house party movie.
Oh, it's directed by Todd. What's it? He directed like The Hangover and Road Trip and
I didn't know that.
Todd Phillips.
I did not know that either. But anyway, yeah. So it looks really good.
This looks like a huge house party gone awry.
Yeah, I think
It's that same style of movie where it's like a video camera.
Yeah, I
filming
think
it.
so.
Though
So-
it seems like a comedy, but the trailer made it almost look like a horror movie. So it's I don't know. It's hard to say. Then again, it's Todd Phillips, so like you know.
yeah.
It's such a cash grab, like the found footage movies. Like those got to be so easy to
Oh, yeah,
like,
the
The
produce.
Blair Witch Project.
Did we mention the last podcast that what was that one movie? The one with the ghosts and it was like in a house.
Paranormal
Paranormal Activity. It made like just crazy amount of money compared to the money that actually went into it. I think it was
Well,
like
they're, like-
655%.
I have like one
no,
of the third.
more
I
I
have
than
a
was
question
put
though.
into it.
Like, how do you think it's really easy to make a movie like that?
It's got to be like.
Well,
it's,
then again,
I
it's
always
like,
think that there's got to be.
Paranormal Activity looked really easy to
But,
make,
like,
to be honest.
I'm just but I'm looking at like from the camera. Like, there's a certain thing where it's like, yeah, you can just give anyone a camera and they'll come out with that sort of footage. But would it be
I think
good?
You
I
gotta
think
be,
gotta
like,
watch
really-
like,
no,
focus.
just wait.
Like,
The I don't think it like matters what your gear is. Like you can make a good movie if you're a creative person, regardless of the gear, regardless if it's
Right.
good or bad. Like it's all about you, like how
but I'm going
creative
for like
you
the
are.
look.
It
Like,
really-
Even the look, all that stuff. I think it's more on the person who's making it than the actual
like-
gear you have. I mean,
Well, it-
gear helps, but you need
But
that.
how much does that person cost today
well,
then?
it really all
that
dep-
person? Well, it was a college film for one,
Hmm.
so I mean that person made like a movie that was good enough to
Right.
put into the theaters with cameras that aren't that great.
Well,
Maybe
then
not
again, you
film
could have the
cameras.
best cameras in the world, but I think it's all really it's the person behind the camera.
Exactly.
well, if you think about it, like the Act of Valor, which we mentioned on the last podcast,
Seen a
was,
trailer for that. It looked really
I've
good.
never seen that.
which was shot on like a 5D Mark II, and that compared to like cinematography cameras is just like significantly like cheaper than having to pay like I don't know 50 grand for a red Epic or something like
Right.
that. You know.
You can shoot just as good of a movie on a regular camera.
Well, to
Well,
To a
to
certain
some
extent.
extent,
Depends
if
on
you're,
what kind of viewing
if
experience
you're trying to tell a
after.
story, sure, but if you have like so
Well,
many
and
cool
it-
effects, you're not exactly going to get that on a
So with-
DSLR.
With this huge house party movie, what is it? Is it just like I seen the trailer, but
Well,
is it just
basically,
one big house party
the
that this
idea
kid got
behind
everyone
it,
to
yeah,
go?
like this
Not
kid,
really.
I think it's throwing like a birthday party or something.
He's throwing this party. His parents are out of town, and it basically shows everything going wrong. There's somebody drives a car into a pool. There's fire. The firemen come out, and like there's the one part in the commercial. His dad's like, "Oh, son, is everything okay?" And then, like just there's chaos all around him. He's just like, "Yep, everything's good." But
Yeah, it looks like a good movie,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend going checking it out. I plan on doing it myself. Well, we are running low on time, so let's move quickly into the next category, which is video games. Jordan, do you want to take us away here? The Return of SSX, which I thought was some sort of video gaming conference about 20 minutes ago. So obviously I know nothing about it. Please tell me more.
Well, SSX was like a huge snowboarding game.
way back in the day,
Yeah,
back
it was
with,
way back in the day.
like PlayStation.
yeah,
Yep.
PlayStation 2 era kind of thing.
I've seen the covers for it. I've probably played it before, but
Yeah, and like, I don't know, that whole genre of games has been dead for quite some time.
Right.
But like SSX is basically like, I don't know, it's just like I've seen some previews and reviews of it, and it just looks like it's has the possibility to bring that extreme sports
Well, it's
Back.
like
Like
game
they've-
back.
It's
Like-
not only like a extreme. Well, it is clearly an extreme sport, but it's like
Yeah.
the
It's
over the
very-
top ones. You know,
yeah,
like
it's
the old
very
Tony Hawk
arcade.
games.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
That's what
arcade.
I was
It's not.
thinking,
It's
like,
not
when
like
you
the
guys
new
were saying
skate
that.
games or anything where it's like actually like hard to do, like super crazy tricks. Like it takes a lot to like
So
you know
they-
kick flip over a set of stairs. Like in this game, you're probably doing flips like.
Oh, yeah,
ba-
you're
pushing a
jumping
button.
helicopters.
So basically,
So
Yeah.
this kind of is it more like the old Tony Hawk games?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you button mash on 3 ones, and Tony does 8 different spins, a kick flip, and a handstand
You're
at the
just,
same
like,
time. You know,
raging on
is
the
it
one
Yeah.
button.
kind of
Yeah.
more like
It's
that?
It's very arcadey like that.
Yeah.
So with this SSX, they've obviously kicked it up maybe 10, 50, 100 notches from the
They,
old stuff. From
they've
what
done-
you've
Well,
seen,
they've
I guess.
upgraded it, right?
They've
Like,
upgraded it.
So
Like,
it looks like a good
yeah, well,
game, I
it
guess.
looks good. Like
they're
I
just
haven't
bringing
played
it
try it.
back.
I haven't played that genre of game for a long time, but I think this would be one
Well, there
that I
haven't been
could
many around to
Yeah,
play.
exactly.
So
Oh yeah.
like. I might be able to give this a shot.
Right.
I kind of like those like really gamer friendly ones that are just like that. It is unrealistic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played any Blitz games.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
Those
those are
awesome.
football games, like it's just like you score and then the opponent scores, and you're just throwing Hail Marys back and forth between each other.
One of
all
the best-
game and, like,
Igniting
Oh,
on fire. and
yeah,
whatnot.
One of
you're
the-
trying to run. You've got like 3 guys trying to tackle you, but you're on fire, so you just drag them.
One of the best NFL games of all time was one of those extreme ones, NFL Street.
That
Anybody
was a
play
good
it?
one.
Oh yeah,
like
I don't
that
even
one.
like football games, but
played
that
it.
one was just a blast and a half. It was so fun.
That was a good one. Another one along those lines was NBA Street.
Oh, yeah.
there
I
was
that
played
was
I-
another good one too.
NBA Street 2 on GameCube. A little dated myself there, but it was a fairly decent game.
Yeah.
The Street was the same franchise as Blitz or whatever it was, and it was
Yeah,
kind of
it
the
was.
same thing. Like
Oh, Blitz was
your
on there.
basketball dunkers, made a few shots, and all of a sudden he's 360ing at half court and just
Yeah.
just dunking.
Just doing
Most
these.
amazing moves ever.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like you just push 2-3 buttons and you're like, how on earth did I do that?
that's why I was good at video games when I was younger. X
They were easier back
or
in the day.
cross,
Yeah,
whatever
think
you
of
wanna
how
call
much more sophisticated it was from like
Mario.
RPGs have gotten. Like think of
Oh.
Duck Hunt to
I love
Call
Duck
of Duty.
Hunt. I was
like
good at that thing.
I bought
I was
a
awful. I was
I bought a
awful at Duck
Nintendo
Hunt.
just for Duck Hunt.
My brother actually went to a yard sale and he picked up it was just the NES that it was on, right?
Yeah.
And he
It was-
picked
Nintendo
up
Entertainment.
he
It was
picked up
packaged-
Duck Hunt and everything, and we tried playing it, and like the whole gun wasn't even working.
Terrible.
But the idea that we could
Sad
go back to
face.
the
Did
that
you check
childhood.
eBay
and-
for another gun?
They'd be on there cheap.
That's where I got my
No.
Nintendo from. So
Do you guys think we should move on from
Next
Duck
one.
Hunt to TV shows? Or wait,
We've got
we got Assassin's Creed
one
Revelations.
more Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Give us a little blurb on that one.
It's a DLC, which is downloadable content. Woohoo!
There you go.
We're-
It's
we're
like the
learning,
fifth or
we're
sixth
learning.
time
He's
in a
learning.
row.
I'm learning.
This is the 6th installment of the game, you say, or what was
No,
it?
this is
We cover like a DLC every week.
they release
new
a
wave.
lot of
Yeah. Gotta
DLC
keep
every
up.
week. But
What-
I
which
think-
number is this?
I'm not too sure what
On
DLC
our
pack it
script,
is,
we don't
but
have numbers.
Assassin's Creed Revelations, I believe, was the
4th, maybe?
4th game in the series.
Did you like? Do you like that series or?
I've tried to get into it, and I've played part 2, and I did like it. It's just that once I kind of put it down, I couldn't get back into it again.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
But
not
I-
it
good.
has no longevity once you play through it.
it's
it seems
basically
like
just
you're
like a first person.
But it is
type of thing.
it is a very cool game. I think it's just it might be those first couple hours that are hard to get through because you don't have like
Like
all
my
of
all
the
the cool
playing
weapons and
Halo?
all that stuff.
done. Yeah.
yeah, like you don't have all the cool weapons and everything because you can get like those hidden blades or something to
you-
assassinate people.
Well,
you
wait.
gotta
Did you
work for
did you
those.
play the first one?
The first one, I played a little bit of it.
Did they start you off with all the gear or something? Just like was it like a flashback or something? Like I can't really remember the game that well.
I don't think you started off with everything.
Okay.
I don't think so.
It was,
But
it was an
That'd
alright
make-
game. Did you
that'd
find
make
it
way too
redundant?
easy, though.
Well, you start off with it, so they give you a tease of what you could potentially get, and then they
When then you like
and then
you
you
lose
go
everything.
back to
or-
the beginning. That's what I thought it was. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
I could be wrong. I haven't
again?
played that
Yeah,
game
it's
in
been
a
a
long
while.
time either.
I played it when it first came out, but it was
I
fun,
have
except
no
for
idea.
it was a very like a
with you on
repetitive
that
game, very
Yeah.
repetitive game.
I think that's kind of how it is with all these like open world games that come out too. Like you got to do like the fetch missions and like
Fetch miss.
yeah, fetch missions.
If
The
it's machine.
fetch missions, like like finding feathers or finding treasure chests.
That-
Yeah.
It's,
What
it's
do
a
you get
very
with
weird.
these
You got to find all
feathers?
the pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah, actually, you do. You do.
what
It
does
is
the
a very, very weird.
What does
game.
the feather do?
That is a good question. I can't remember what it does.
It's
Is it
just
like
a,
Super Mario?
It's just a nice feather.
It's just a nice feather. Don't you want a feather?
I do now. I want a feather.
I kind of like just how like, video games.
Nothing in
I
here
think
has a
they
feather
used to
on
be
it.
more targeted just at young people, and now, and I think like the average age of a video game user has definitely gone up a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Like, look at us sitting around here.
Well, we've
We're
all-
in our 20s talking about
Yeah.
video games, and that's not uncommon. Like, 30, 35-year-old people are playing video games. I just
Halo
think it's
and Call of
interesting that
Duty.
it's gone from more directed at children
Like
with the
Super
Mario
Mario
and stuff
Yeah.
like that to more of just a broad horizoned market.
Yeah, like with I guess just with that time, like graphics have gotten better and people wanted to explore more ground, I guess, and just
Get
with
more-
that, I guess like I don't know,
Just
I
get
guess
more intricate and
violence
stuff.
became a part of it, and just that whole thing kind of evolved, and like now you got these crazy over the top gory games and like
Well-
just like something you wouldn't let a kid play and not
But a kid'll
something you would.
but a kid'll
think-
play it anyways.
Yeah, like the thought of a game that's actually rated mature. Like I remember seeing that. I can't remember which game it was. Maybe one of the Siphon Filter ones that
was
first
probably
came
one.
out there. But I was just thinking, like, a game rated mature. Like you have to be 18 to play this video game. Like the thought of that just seemed crazy to me in general, and it still kind of does, I guess.
Like a
It's-
movie is one thing, but and I get what you're saying, like with a game and stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause, like-
and like just how many copies of video games sell. Like people line up, like and pre-order these games months ahead just to
People
get their
camp
hands
out
on
for like
it.
3 weeks outside a Fuchs shop or a GameStop to.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I've pre-ordered games.
Yeah, I've pre-ordered quite a few actually.
Then you pre-order, you get all that cool free stuff with it.
Yep.
I'm hoping to pre-order the new Halo 4 when it comes out.
What do you
When
get with
is that coming out?
I'm hoping the end of this year. I'm
Nice.
hoping.
What do
I
you-
think it might be November, but
Is
I'm
that
not
Jordan's
entirely
Christmas
sure.
gift to himself?
Yes, yes.
One of the many gifts
I'm
he gives
getting
to
the-
himself.
If they do come out with a legendary edition, I'm going with that, and I'm hoping to get a nice big sculpture that I could put on my mantle someday,
Well, that sounds
A
like a
trophy.
great Christmas gift to yourself there, Jordan.
or a nice helmet.
Feel free to throw.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Do you guys think we should move on?
Yeah,
Try to
let's
get
move
through
on
this.
to
We have
TV
only a little bit of
shows.
time.
TV shows. So James Spader is leaving the office.
I'm
Yes.
like so far behind on
Uh,
that show.
Jordan, you're office
I'll let you
man.
guys.
Yeah.
Office man.
Well, James
Do-do-do-do.
Spader was introduced in season 7, and he basically was applying for Michael's job when Michael was leaving. So, yeah, like he just got on for season 8,
Right.
and he took the CEO's position,
And he's already leaving.
leaving, which
So
is
he took
very
like the
interesting.
saber,
I'm wondering
or is
Yeah.
that kind of all out
he
the
took
window?
the
Is-
Saber CEO's
because
position.
there used
Oh,
to be
okay.
like another chick that was on there, right?
Yeah,
It's a
Jo.
CEO. Yeah, I like
Yeah, and
Jo.
she
I
was
thought
like
she was
the-
nice.
Yeah, and it's just like
And she took
he's already gone, and he was like, I don't know what anybody else thinks about The Office, but I thought he was a cool character, and I thought
Yeah.
was he funny in that show?
he was pretty funny. I
Yeah,
liked
he
him.
was. Yeah.
Definitely gotta
Season
catch up on
8,
that.
like, it was different without Michael, but I think
Yeah.
Did
I don't
it
know.
work? Did it work without him?
I think
I
it
think
did.
yeah, it
Or we-
still
we
works.
still
Like I've
feel-
seen some of the new
Or
episodes.
were you watching like, yeah, this is good, but I don't know if
It-
only Michael was on.
It is different. It's very different without.
But you just have to accept it, right? Like
Yeah.
Michael's not on anymore, and that's just how it is.
Like you don't want him to, be on TV for like 20 years and then the character gets stale. You're like, oh, get off this show already.
And like his replacement. Well, I'm not ruining anything by saying it's Andy. Like
Oh,
How
Andy
dare
takes.
you?
Andy takes his spot. I guess I ruined it for you, but
No, I like.
Oh, Andy, jeez.
Spoiler alert. So
spoiler alert. Yeah, but like I think he was a really good.
Andy's
Like,
one of my favorite
Oh,
characters.
Andy's
I know,
so
he-
funny.
He was. I think he was a really good replacement for Michael because he has that kind of
Quirkiness and
that quirkiness and that idiocy.
He
to
seems
him.
yeah,
laughs at his own jokes.
he seems like he's kind of unsure of himself too. Like it's kind of a funny character to have in a like a position like that, a position of power in the office, I guess.
Yeah,
and all the
It's
power
very
goes to his head. And,
Yep.
well.
it's a very good show.
Well, anyway,
Definitely.
we have to cut ourselves short.
Oh, that one went by fast.
I know.
Oh, no
we
doubt.
ran out of time. Anyway, that's our podcast for this week. We'd love to hear your opinions about the topics we talked about today, especially the cinnamon challenge. So feel free to email us at deviewpodcast@gmail.com, or you can post a comment. You can find us on Twitter. Deview Podcast is simply at Deview Podcast. I'm at Curtis Parody.
I don't have Twitter yet.
At Gage C. Fletcher.
At jmurd117.
At Cheeto Koss.
And don't forget to check out deviewpodcast.com. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, have yourself a great day, night, or whatever it is, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this. Bye, everyone.
So yeah.
See you later.